Shundrawn Thomas, born and raised here in Chicago. I'm a father of two wonderful sons, and I have a wife, Latanya, probably better than I deserve. Who am I as a person? First of all, a Christian, a believer. I feel blessed every single day because I know the grace of God is alive and well in my life when I get up. I belong to a small church on the south side of Chicago. I take great pride in my service and my work with my church because I'm always impressed about how much positive impact that small band of fellow believers, has on my life. I think about the sacrifice that Christ made for me, dying for my sins. He lived an example that I can follow here in the earth. In a sense, a God that you serve that's detached from you, but one that really knows who you are, knows intimately, having lived this earthly experience. When I grew up as a very young child, we were not committed Christians. I wasn't christened into a church. My father, who is now a pastor, who has been in ministry for many years, was dealing at the time with alcoholism. And it was interesting to see the change that Christ ushered into his life. My parents always loved us, but how you were able to grow and be nurtured in a different way because now Christ is the center of that household. Getting introduced to the Christian faith at an early age, it's still at that point is sort of the choice of your parents. Everybody has to come to their own choice. I would say that true choice for me really came in my early 20s. Coming into the workplace, actually having some early career success, what I began to identify that, whether it was money or it was educational success or some degree of prosperity, those things didn't make me feel fulfilled. And so then you revert in a good way back to those foundational things that you were taught. That's when it really became real for me. In those early years, in my mind, there was sort of this distinct divide between my professional life and my quote-unquote Christian life. That dissonance began to bother me. And I think that was a good thing. I think that uneasiness around that was God nudging me in a good way. And so by the time I got to the point where I came and joined the Northern Trust, I think I was at a different place in my spiritual maturity, realizing that God wants our beliefs to be resident in every part of our lives. When I joined here, I almost immediately was in various forms and fashions introduced to other believers. Now when I come to work, I don't feel that dissonance. So how do you reconcile wealth management with the cause of Christ? I work in our asset management division. I lead our global exchange traded funds business. And back some years ago, I really felt as if God was sort of speaking to me inwardly. So I literally got up in the middle of the night and I started scribbling the notes to the first book I wrote. It was a book called Start Planning. And the book is about real creation. And I think that you can help people achieve their goals in life, broad-based goals and financial goals in a way that honors Christ.